Before there were kings, before there were gods, there was a book. Not a book of wisdom, not a book of prayers. A book that does not give life, but steals it. And every soul that ever dared to open it was never seen again. Thousands of years ago, when the Nile ran red with the blood of forgotten wars, and the gods still walked among the living, a legend was born. A legend so dark, so terrible, that priests refused to speak its name after sunset. They whispered of a hidden temple buried deep beneath the shifting sands of the desert. A temple with no entrance on any map. A temple that could not be found unless it wanted to be found. And no one, not a single living soul, ever dared to search for it. But there was one who was not like the others. His name was Amun. He was poor. He was hungry. He had watched his family suffer while the rich grew richer behind their palace walls. He had nothing, nothing but a fire inside him that refused to die. A hunger not just for food, but for power, for wealth, for a destiny greater than the dirt beneath his feet. And men like Amun, men with nothing to lose, are the most dangerous men in the world. One moonless night, when even the stars seemed to hide their eyes, Amun crept into an abandoned tomb on the edge of the city. He was looking for something to sell, anything, a broken amulet, a clay jar, a forgotten coin. But what he found was not meant to be found. Hidden beneath a cracked stone slab, wrapped in the skin of a creature he did not recognize, was a papyrus scroll. He unrolled it with trembling hands. And the moment his eyes traced the lines on that map, something cold moved through his blood. It was a map to the cursed temple, and it had been waiting there for him. By morning, the whole village knew. They came to him, the elders, the women, the priests. They grabbed his arms. They blocked his path. They fell to their knees and begged. One old man, whose own father had vanished searching for that same temple decades ago, pressed his forehead to the ground and wept. "Do not go," he cried. "No one comes back. No one, ever." Amun looked at each of their faces, their fear, their desperation, their broken eyes. And he walked away. He walked for 3 days. 3 days with no water, 3 days with no shade, 3 days with the sun hammering down on him like the fist of an angry god. Twice he fell. Twice he got back up. On the third night, a sandstorm swallowed the sky. The world became a wall of darkness and howling wind. He could not see his own hands in front of his face. But the map glowed. It glowed through the storm, through the darkness, as if something on the other end was pulling him forward. And then his foot struck stone. Stone where there should only be sand. He dug with his bare hands for hours. His fingers bled. His nails tore against the stone. And then he saw it. A door, carved with the faces of gods he had never seen before. Gods with hollow eyes. Gods with open mouths frozen in a silent scream. Every instinct in his body screamed at him to run. Every muscle in his legs begged him to turn back. But his hands pressed flat against the stone and pushed. And that single moment, that one decision, sealed his fate forever. Inside was a silence so total, it felt like being buried alive. The air was thick,
ancient, like the breath of something that had not moved in 10,000 years. A moon raised his torch. The wall stretched up into blackness. Enormous stone pillars lined both sides, carved into the shapes of gods and beasts he had no names for. And then he heard it. Breathing. Not his own. Whispers began to swirl around him from every direction at once, too close to be echoes, too clear to be wind. He spun around, and in the darkness between the pillars, eyes opened, dozens of them, watching him, waiting.
He should have run. Every part of him knew it. But his feet kept moving forward, as if they were no longer his own. And then the corridor opened into a chamber unlike anything on this earth. The walls were covered floor to ceiling in pure hammered gold. Thousands of oil flames burned in perfect circles on the floor. The air itself shimmered, and at the center of it all, on a throne of black stone, sat the book. It was alive. He could feel it breathing. He could feel it watching him. And God help him, he wanted it.
His hand reached out. The room held its breath. The flames stopped flickering. The whispers went silent. The eyes in the darkness all turned toward him at once. His fingers touched the cover. It was warm. Warm like skin. Warm like something alive. He opened it. The light that erupted from those pages was not the light of fire. It was not the light of the sun. It was older than both. And from within that light, a shape formed. Tall, ancient, terrible.
Finally, after all these centuries, someone to take my place.
He tried to scream. No sound came out. He tried to run. His legs would not move. He watched in silent horror as his skin turned gray, as his fingers hardened, as the stone crept up his arms, his chest, his throat. His last thought was of the village, of the old man weeping at his feet, of all the voices that warned him. They were right. They were all right. The camera pulls back, and you see them. Hundreds of statues, each one frozen mid-scream, each one reaching, each one a person who came here, chasing the same dream as a moon. And a moon now stands among them, the newest guardian, the newest prisoner, for eternity.
The stone door grinds shut. The flames dim one by one until there is nothing left but silence and darkness and the book. Still glowing, still breathing, still waiting. It has waited for 1,000 years. It will wait 1,000 more. The only question is, who will be next?
Yeah.